Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bootstrap Workbench. Today, I wanted to talk for just a few minutes about some of the convenience features on the IC-7100 from ICOM. These are things that'll make your operating life a little bit easier. The first one that I wanted to go over, now, as you can see on my screen, it says it is 2111, and that is not correct. It is actually 11:09 a.m. local time. So my clock on the radio is wrong. Now, let me switch my capture device here, and I will show you this time adjustment software from ICOM. It is the ST-4003W software. You can download it, and then once you have it downloaded, you simply run it. Now, you will need to have the radio connected via a USB cable to your computer. So we're going to install the software real quick here. And it looks like I already have it installed. Well, that's quite interesting. Okay, let's do a search for it. ST-4003W. There it is. So we'll go ahead and run it. Hopefully it pops up on the correct screen. It did. So it does see our radio there, currently on COM 11. And let's go ahead and run this. Now, if we switch back, you can see that it has now corrected our time to 11:11. So that is perfect. Now it is currently working on setting the seconds it needs to run for a whole minute through to do that. So we're going to give that just a little bit more time here to finish up with what it's working on. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and talk about a couple of other things. So we have some neat features here, both buried in menus and available from buttons on the front panel. And as soon as we are done here in about 7 or 8 seconds, I will show you those options. We're coming up on it pretty quick now. Perfect. So our time and date are set correctly now. By the way, if you're going to use this application, make sure you don't have anything else communicating with the rig open, or that application will fail. It does not share the ports, so to speak. So let's turn up our volume here and see if we can find somebody operating on CW. There were signals here just a few minutes ago, but they may have all moved off. I'm just going to keep scrolling through here. There we go. So we can hear that one. Now we are in CW mode. We hit auto tune, and the radio automatically tries to put itself on a frequency. So that's a neat little convenience feature. Another feature that I wanted to show you here, and we will move off of the frequency where that person is operating. Now we're finding plenty of people operating. All right, so we're going to hit menu and cycle through until we get to M3. We're going to hit SWR. We'll hit the start button, and then we'll cycle through. Now, of course, on the antenna that I'm currently on, the Hustler 6 BTV, it's pretty flat all the way across. But if we weren't flat, that would tell us where our lows were at. And then we could, if we had a manual tuner, tune our manual tuner. Now, on my 7100, I'm currently running an MFJ IntelliTuner, a 993 external, since the 7100 does not have an auto tuner built in. Now, I am using the correct communications cable between the radio and the tuner, so I can just hold my tuner button and it will automatically tune. So that's a pretty quick run through on a couple of things there. There are a lot of other features that you can adjust, things like, I bumped the mic, things like speed pitch, and of course, there are other things on your front panel like noise blanker, noise reducer, notch, auto notch. Uh, your set menus. You also have your quick button. So on the quick button, you have a variety of things that you can access, like meter type, priority watch on or off, weather channel, weather alert, GPS information, record start. That's kind of a cool one. I like that if I'm monitoring and it's something that I want to save for later. I can just hit that, and now we are recording, as you can see here. So we can come back to the quick menu and we hit record stop. Now the recording has stopped. Let's see if I can actually pick up a weather channel here. And then the question is, there we go. I am so far in the middle of nowhere that I have a hard time even picking up terrestrial broadcast weather radio. But that's what happens when you live on a big ranch well away from anything else. Now, if I had the proper antenna up top, maybe I could access that, maybe I couldn't. Don't know. Let's see, what else do we want to cover here? We can set our mic gain and our RF power out. And here is another cool one. So let's just say we're on that frequency there. Let's turn our volume up. I'll hit our speech button, and it's going to enunciate what frequency and mode we are on. So let's say, for instance, we change to this frequency, and we're on lower sideband. So sometimes it works out well, sometimes it does not. It just depends. I think, let's see here. Here's the other way to set your time. You can set it through the date time menu. You can have GPS time correct enabled if you have an external GPS antenna. You can set your UTC offset here. You can even set an auto power off on the radio. There you can set your LCD contrast and backlight, meter hold, call sign display, message display, scroll speed, system language, power on check. And we've looked at the SD card menu before. Under others, you can get information, clone the radio, do a touchscreen calibration, reset the radio. So if we go to information, we can see what versions we're on. Let's take another look here. So voice menu, voice memo with QSO, recorder, and DV auto reply that we can set. Call sign. This is where we set up our D-Star information. My station, you can set your call sign, any other suffix. Under function, monitor on off. Monitor is important. So if you get in a situation where you get a lot of screeching when you're trying to transmit, it's probably feedback because your monitor is on. Go in here and turn monitor off. Let's see here. So under tuner, we can set it on how we want the tuner to engage with the radio to engage with the tuner. We set auto start on, PTT start on, then every time we key, it's going to attempt to tune. So we have a ton of options in here. Ref adjust sets our calibration to frequency. It's something you don't really want to mess with unless you have the proper equipment to adjust it. Connectors is, of course, where all of our settings are buried for how we want to be able to talk to a PC or how we want to be able to have mic input come into the radio. And I think that is pretty much going to cover it for today. So I'll be back with more later. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Thanks for hanging out until the end of the video. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.